what's that called when you lose interest in men, but like you're not a lesbian either? Like, I just, I, I had an epiphany today. Like, I'm done. I'm retiring. Like, I am not up for grabs anymore. Like, literally, no one's fucking with me anymore. No one. I'm not spending any time with anybody. I literally am hanging out with my girlfriends, my cat, and working my fucking ass off. That's it. Like, don't even come near me. Don't even start. Don't slide in my DMs. Don't fucking like my photo. Don't do anything. Literally, leave me the fuck alone.
Can't tell you how many women have said some variation of what you just put there in the comment. It's unbelievable how so many women have just completely cut ties with men, intimacy with men. Why bother? What are they bringing to the table? That's like something I hear all the time. Men, what are you going to do to fix this? How are you going to show up? How are we going to show up so that women feel safe?
Men are becoming very, very frustrated that they can't get the women that they want. And it's really pissing them off, and some men can't handle it. It's making some men violent and nasty. He'll tear your life apart, walk all over your heart before he lets you go. I bet he's promised you forever, says he's never gonna leave your side, right? And it's cool when you're together, but he doesn't call you back at night. Why? 'Cause girl, he's just using you, making...
So men are out here noticing that women are done. Y'all see the title, y'all see the thumbnail. Men are noticing it, and they're waking up and they're speaking out about women not wanting them. Some of them are mad, some of them are frustrated, some of them kind of understand it and are siding with women and saying they see why women don't want to be with men anymore. And they're trying to talk to the men and explain to them what is going on globally. But there are just, y'all know, it's a sector of men, the majority of men, that don't want to hear it coming from a man or a woman. They just want to get online and just spew out what they think is going on and just ignore everything that is being said and talked about. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to keep talking about it because the world is changing. And as the world changes, everybody needs to get used to new normals. We're coming out of a patriarchy. It is falling globally, and men are windmilling trying to keep it. And women are windmilling trying to get out of it and trying to get to safety. It's like women are waking up and just now realizing we've been walking in the jungle or in a safari with all of these predators around us. And it's like our eyes have just now opened up to what is going on. And now women are fighting for their lives, trying to get to safety and freedom. And men are like, no, we don't want y'all to be safe and free because that's how we got one of you. So we're going to talk about it, and I will be back later.
This is exactly why women aren't getting married and having kids, because other women are showing the truth of what it is. What do you mean you can't even look up to notice your son's walking for the first time? Why would a woman want to have a child with somebody like that? And the problem is, you don't know that they're like that until after you have their child. It's reasons like this that women are opting out.
Let's have a real conversation, right? I think all of this red pill, man versus woman, hate train stuff, man, I think we are completely overlooking the real root of all these issues. And the real root of all this toxicity, man, that's going on social media is because of men who can't get women. That's all it is, man. That's 100% my opinion, what I think it truly is, man. Because these dudes grew up not being able to get women. And you know, when you are that type of person, man, nobody wants to really hang around you. You know what I'm saying? So now the internet and social media has given these guys a community for them to say, you know what? It's not you. It's women. You can't get women. You can't get women because of how women are. You're perfect. You deserve better. That's why you can't get women. And all of this has rooted from that type of thinking. Because be real, man, as a man, it's not hard to look at a dude or go to their profile and realize and see what dudes can and can't get women. And it has nothing to do with looks. It has everything to do with the way a man carries himself, presents himself, the way that he can communicate. Give a gab is a great piece of it. And I hope what I'm about to say, women don't take offense to, but you know, this is the truth. A woman is the easiest thing in the world to get.
If a woman is the easiest thing in the world to get, why is there an epidemic of lonely men who can't get women? No, a man is the easiest thing to get. A woman can go outside and throw a rock, and whatever man it hits, she can get him.
get a woman when you broke, disgusted on the streets with nothing. And you can get a woman when you have $1 trillion. And everything in between. Men who can get women, get women. And I know that as a man, when you can't get one, that just burns inside you. That makes you hate everything involving women. That makes you hate the men that can get women. That's why y'all always bring up Pookies and Ray Rays. That's why y'all always talk about men on the internet that y'all see getting women. Y'all always say, oh man, he just got it. He just got it. Yeah, some dudes just got it. And you don't have it. So now you want to bring up this rhetoric that women don't deserve this, women don't deserve that because they haven't given you anything. When you never had real connection or communication or just real engagement with a woman, all you know about is what you see on TV. Or in this case, what you see on social media. So of course, y'all be obsessed with all these gold digger pranks and these red pill podcasts when these same dudes that y'all call y'all heroes still got to pay these women to communicate with them. So y'all always going to end up saying, women don't deserve this, women don't deserve that. Instead of looking at yourself and being like, damn, what is it about me? See, y'all don't want to fix yourself. That's why y'all want to blame everybody else. And I know y'all type. You know what I'm saying? Because I've probably been y'all type before. Y'all are the type of dudes who got the cool homeboys that y'all feel like y'all better than. But when y'all see that they get all these women, all this attention, it just burns y'all up. You're like, damn, what is it about him that makes all these women like him? But you still got to be his buddy. So y'all just trying to play it cool. In another situation, man, like your dog is still your dog regardless, man. That's still your homeboy. So he see that you can't get women and he feels sorry for you. So you know what he do? He call one of his homegirls and be like, hey, bring a friend from my homeboy, blah, blah, blah. So he set you up on a 2-man. Back in my day, it was called a mission. So y'all go on a mission and you don't know how to act. Everything you say is awkward, you cringy, you creepy. And he got to tell you, hey man, chill out. Hey man, you doing too much. That man that get women, that man that get women, that man that had to have his homegirl bring a girl over for you, he don't have a problem holding you accountable. He don't have a problem being the guy that can hold other men accountable when he see them doing certain things because he know what it's like to engage, communicate, and have connection with women. Dudes who can get women don't have a problem providing them with basic decency, basic protection. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the least a man can give a woman. But y'all always got these excuses as to why women don't deserve this, why women got to be treated like this, why they don't do that. Y'all only say that because y'all don't talk to them. That red pill shit don't work in real life. That rhetoric that y'all push on the internet every day don't work in real life. And even if it did, y'all ain't got enough charisma to even try to pull it on a woman. Y'all can't even have a basic conversation with them. So all of this red pill hate train man versus women shit has started because of men who can't get women. This is an incels playground. And when y'all get in these comments, man, and y'all say certain things, and we go to y'all profiles, and it makes all the sense in the world to us. Like, oh damn, you can't get women, so of course you feel this way. And that's it.
It's really niggas out here that just was born not to get bitches. Like, they probably rich as hell, they probably good at sports, they probably bodybuilders. They ain't got no bitches though. They just wasn't put on this earth to get bitches. Like, when God was making you from heaven, he put, don't get bitches. You just wasn't meant to, like, niggas be trying to do all this looks maxing and shit and all this other shit, my nigga. You wasn't meant to get bitches. That's like me. I can accept the fact I wasn't meant to play sports. I wasn't meant to be no swole ass bodybuilder. I can accept that. You can't accept you wasn't meant to get bitches? Niggas, bro, go get your CDL or something and get to this bag. Like, these bitches, they always gonna be here.
What is there to like? I mean, y'all don't look like nothing. Y'all don't make a lot of money, okay? Like, I make double than what the average man makes. Y'all are not funny. Y'all are boring. Like, it's just comical to me. It is just comical to me. Because it's like, even when and if I'm ever around men, there is nothing that I enjoy about you all. Like, there is nothing that I enjoy about you all at all. Like, there's nothing special about you. There is absolutely nothing special about you all that would make me want to deal with you all. And it's like, I don't understand why I get so mad about this. I'm only one woman. I'm only one person. Like, it's just me. My thing is this. If y'all want to be liked, do some shit to make you worthy of being liked. Like, y'all are just so used to just thinking that because you're born as a man, people are supposed to like you. No, the fuck we're not. You're not entitled to someone liking you just because you're a man. Like, no. Do some shit to make yourself be likable. And then maybe people will actually like you. But y'all don't do anything to be likable. Y'all don't even attempt to do anything to be likable. Y'all literally will do the opposite and do everything to be hated and then get mad that nobody likes you. Like, literally, you all will kick and flail and get so pissed off and scream at the top of your lungs because you all want to be horrible people and then get mad at the fact that people don't like you. Like, what? Like, in what world does that make sense? Like, if women are consciously making the decision to not want to deal with you, obviously you're not worth dealing with. It's okay. Like, it's going to be okay. I promise. I absolutely promise. But me not liking men ain't gonna make a difference, because it is so many women out here who are obsessed with men. I am just one person. Like, y'all will be okay. It's plenty of women out here. And I forgot, don't y'all got the passports? Like, y'all got the passports, okay? Y'all could get any woman that y'all want in the world. Like, y'all are always telling us that, oh, it's a billion women out here. It's a billion women out here. I swear to God, me not liking y'all, it's not going to change your life. I promise you, it's not going to change your life. I'm just one woman. Go get these foreign women. Go get these women with long hair. Go get these women with these natural, beautiful bodies. Go get these women that are going to be your helpmate. Go get these women that are going to do everything for you. Please, like, go get those women. Like, it's plenty of them out there waiting for you that will do anything for you. I'm only one woman that's not. You'll be okay.
You know what I just realized? That most men really be angry and mad because they don't have the money to trick on the women that they really want on a daily basis. Because think about it. When a man finally gets some money and start to actually get to dating the women that wouldn't even look at him, if he ain't really had no money, guess what? That man becomes more peaceful, becomes more quiet, avoids conflict, don't want to fight, don't want to shoot, don't want to do nothing. The dudes that be angry, they don't get women. Think about it. Think about all the other reasons as a man. Why would you be angry? You probably really angry because you ain't got no money. A man can be fat and out of shape, but if a man got some money, he gonna be happy. That'd be the problem. These dudes be angry that they ain't got no money and they can't get the women that they really want because of it. Because attraction is cool, but after attraction, if you ain't got no money coming in, that woman gonna leave you. I don't care how attractive you is. Because money can make you look good. Money can clean you up. Money can buy you some new cologne. Money can get you a nice haircut, a nice tailored suit. Money can do a lot of things. So don't underestimate the power of having resources and money. Attraction ain't it. We ain't 15 no more. We grown. And grown women like men with money. That's just what the game is.
Black men, let's just keep it real for a second. A lot of y'all suck at relationships, fam. Right? A lot of y'all just might not be compatible with women. You feel me? Because you're online complaining about women all day, every day. You never have anything good to say about women. Fam, you don't like women as human beings. You see them as objects. You don't see them as a person, something to love and treat with respect. You don't. And then when it comes to the relationship aspect, some of y'all believe that you just missed a man and she's supposed to submit to you, but you ain't even giving her nothing to submit to. You're an average man asking for a woman to come back home, cook, clean, give you intercourse and all that stuff, while you sit there and absolutely do nothing but think that you paying the bills because you're going, what, 50-50? She working too. She just as tired as you are. But she got to do all these extra things. You're not pitching in around the house like you're supposed to. You're not taking care of the children. You know, like doing, you know, equally yoked labor in the home. You're not doing that. You're not doing equal labor in the home. You feel me? A lot of y'all just believe because you are a man, that's it. I'm a man and she should be grateful that I am a man. Fam, a man handle business. And another thing that men do, since y'all love to say, well, the dudes who act crazy out in the world, bro, those are not men, those are boys. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Men don't sit on the internet complaining about women that they're not having intercourse with. That's what men don't do. That's an example of real man. Real manhood is not complaining about women 24/7, using black women for content. Trying to make an example out of black women every day. That's what real men don't do. So what kind of man are you? Then y'all get mad at a man for checking a man, but you too afraid to do it. You scared. You scared. That just say that it is what it is. I don't believe in bro code. Ain't no code when it comes to the disrespect of a woman. It's time to grow up. Some of y'all too old to be acting the way that you acting on this here internet, these here apps. That's why I be telling y'all, y'all beard can't save you. You getting in the gym can't save you. None of them things can save you. Your deep voice can't save you. Because in the end of the day, it's a bitch inside your heart. Because only a bitch would act like that. Now, obviously, I can't say the word, but only a bitch would get online complaining about women all day long. Y'all do this every day. And it's probably because you just suck at keeping a woman. A man handle business. A man don't cry and complain about women all day 24/7. And that's what y'all do. That's your whole life. Your whole life, that's your whole content is just crying about women. But you alpha. You leader, protector, provider. You real man. You ain't no real man. You a crybaby. You soft. Go check a man. And leave women alone. Some of y'all really don't even like women. I'm just saying.
No, I think it's the majority of them that don't really like women. Even those who are with women, I feel like it's a majority of them that don't like women. And you know what? I also feel like a lot of women don't like men. I know y'all are going to disagree with me. I know women want men, but they don't like men. I have said it before. When women are with men, everything that the man does annoys her, and vice versa. Everything that she does annoys him. So this dynamic has been like this forever. Women are just now walking away because they can afford to, which is why the country is trying to change that quickly.
To young men who are irritated at women is, if you're irritated at women, you know, as a class of creature, there's something wrong with you, because they're right. You're wrong. They're right to not pick you. If they're not picking you, it's because they're right. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but what you have to understand is that, what do you expect from women? If you got pregnant because you had sex, you'd be pretty damn choosy too. So, you know, clue in a bit. And then, well, don't they find you attractive? Well, maybe you're not. Like, have you paid attention to how you dress? Do you have a plan? Are you as educated as you could be? You know, are you a liar? Are you a rabid pornography user? If you were better, you'd be more successful with women.
A lot of heterosexual men don't like women for real. They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what a woman is outside of her sexual organs.
Cam Newton is just sitting here looking at him because he knows what he's saying is true. Cam Newton is a man who obviously does not like women. He always has a lot of women. He's had a lot of women, but he does not like them. He likes what they can bring as far as their services, like the majority of men, because if most women weren't having sex with men wouldn't like them. And that's why we're seeing a lot of men who don't like women now, because women are being celibate and trying to be on their own, and men are showing how much they do not like you. You can't just come over to a man's house and do nothing. You're not going to just be able to just come over there because you like him. He's going to want you to cook. He's going to want you to clean. He's going to want to have sex. And if you don't want to do the things that he was taught that you're supposed to do for him and to him, he's just not going to like you at all. Nothing about you. He's not going to want to have conversation with you, not for long, unless he's an intellectual man, which is a very, very, very rare form of a man to find. But other than that, men don't really like having anything to do with women if sex isn't involved, if cooking and cleaning and services aren't involved.
So then when we get into why a lot of men womanize, or why it's just they're minimizing a woman based off of who she slept with or who she potentially can sleep for, it, because it's like you haven't gained the appreciation of the wholeness of a woman yet, and what that wholeness of a woman can bring to your life. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we'll talk about strength and we'll say men are stronger than women, but that's because we value physical strength. We're not talking about emotional strength, spiritual strength. Yeah. We're not talking about the type of strength that can run a household. And we're not putting that same type of weight. And what I would encourage, and this was the shift that I had to do, is I had to start liking the wholeness of a woman outside of sex. And then when you do that, now you appreciate the things a complete woman can bring to your life. When we talk about the Bible talks about...
If you're a smart woman, I would run from any man that starts talking about the Bible, even if he's talking like he has some sense. The moment he starts talking about the Bible when it comes to men and women relationships, I suggest you get away from him as fast as you can and block him, because he's going to want to control you. He's going to want your services for free. He's going to want you to stay at home and be a stay-at-home mother so he can abuse you financially, so he can cheat. And when he does, you're not going to be able to leave him. He's just going to want to trap you. If he starts talking about the Bible and he wanting a biblical marriage, he's going to want you to work, which is not biblical. You're supposed to just work around the house and, you know, work with other women. In the Bible, they had other women helping them. The women did, with the kids and the house and everything. But they pick and choose what pieces they want. They want you to work, but they want you to work outside of the house also, and you don't have your community, which is not good for any woman. And you're not going to be able to stay at home with your baby like you think you are and like they tell you they want you to, because nobody can afford it. 95% of people right now cannot afford to stay home with their kids. People cannot afford to pay $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 and upwards for childcare. So you're going to be stuck at home with that kid if you don't have anybody to watch it, and you're going to struggle financially if you're stuck at home with that kid.
The Bible talks about finding a capable wife, right? That capable wife, that person that if you was to stumble, can pick up the ball and start running. And there's a lot of men that have just a wife because they was only concerned about what she can do in the bed. Yeah. And so what I'm just encouraging men to do is just like, and it's for our own benefit, because a lot of us, especially men with some type of means, we end up finding a dependent, not a partner.
Which is exactly the way they set up the system. They wanted women to be dependents. That's why they had laws where women couldn't own anything or get jobs or go to school. They wanted to be providers, and the system was set up that way. That is why you get women as dependents. But now that women are saying we don't need a man, we make our own money, we can go to school, we can do this, this, and that, they're online yelling, we don't care about your degrees. We want a woman that wants to be a stay-at-home wife. We don't care about this A, B, and C. Men are talking out of both sides of their necks. They're saying what they don't want, especially broke men. Broke men are saying this because they're broke. Like, point blank, period. But they're saying they want stay-at-home wives, traditional biblical mothers, but they're also saying you got to go out and work 40 to 50 hours just like me while also doing this. And women are realizing that, yeah, they're batshit crazy and we should not listen to them at all, because they set up the system exactly the way they wanted to. Well, black men didn't, other men, and black men praise the system that they're in. They say they're providers and protectors, even though most men aren't doing that. But they set up the system for rich men to be able to protect and, well, they're not protecting anyway. They're not providing either. The rich men in America right now are hoarding all the resources and trying to break everybody so women will be vulnerable and go back to men and go back to having babies and being trapped in the house. So they're talking out of both sides of their neck, and his Bible tells him that a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. And if women are listening to unstable men, that makes you unstable also. So that's why I say, if anybody starts talking about the Bible and a woman that needs to go to work and be a stay-at-home mom, all in the same paragraph, stop talking to them.
Partner, yeah, she can fuck us good, but if you was able to stumble, bro, what the fuck is gonna happen with your family? And so I just encourage men to be, I'm not gonna say more, because that's unrealistic to a lot of men, but as attracted to what she brings as a feminine energy to your life outside of just what you're doing in between.
Check this out. So to that point.
So after doing the research, right, I have come to the conclusion that men do not like women, right? They don't like women. And this is all historically backed. This is not me talking out of my ass, okay? This is all facts. Men do not like women. They like fucking women. They like to be with women sexually. They like how women benefit their lives as far as the nurturing aspect. But when it comes to loving, honoring, respecting a woman, that's where they check out. Yes, this is a generalization. Yes, I understand that there are exceptions to the rule. So if I'm not talking about you, if you know that you are the exception, please remove yourself and allow me to be able to address the people that I'm addressing. Thank you. Now, before I get into the scientific and historical evidence, right, that supports the claim that men do not like women, let me just give my commentary really quickly, right? You cannot convince me that men like women because while in a system designed where women, right, have to follow the leadership of men, we literally have to follow you. Men did not even do their due diligence in being able to provide women with the information or access, you understand, about how their bodies work. Right? We did not even get the due diligence of them providing us with the information of how our body works. And that's because they did not care. They did not care to do the research. They did not care to understand how we work. And this is just on a biological level, right? We're not even talking about mental. We're not even talking about emotional. On a biological level, in a field that was dominated by men, they didn't even do their due diligence and being able to do the research, hold the studies, conduct the studies to be able to figure out the inner workings, the basic inner workings of a woman, of the female anatomy. Now let's get into the science and the history of it all, right? So modern Western medicine developed within patriarchal norms. Okay? Patriarchal norms influenced how medicine was developed and who it was centered around. That is a fact. For centuries, places like Europe and North America, right? Medicine was male dominated, okay? It was dominated by men, all right? All of the research conducted by men and the test studies, also men. Women were excluded from the intellect, the intellectual participation of medicine, okay? The few times you probably saw or women were present is if they were the test subject, which again was still rare because they preferred for the test subject to be male. The first American woman to earn a medical degree, earn a degree in medicine, right? This was in New York, 1949. That woman's name is Elizabeth Blackwell. 1849, the 20th century. Mind you, we had the full, you understand, anatomy, picture of the male anatomy in the 1500s. Again, speaking on the historical aspect of this all, right? Drug trials were conducted on primarily men, meaning results were then generalized, right, to fit women. Since they conducted the test on men, they just generalized the information and just applied it to women, not even accounting the fact that the biological structure of male and female are completely different. And this is the reason why women are often, you understand, undiagnosed, or there's a delay in a diagnosis of whatever her condition is because all of the symptoms are based off of men. Prime example, heart disease, the leading cause of death in women till this day. You want to know why it's still underdiagnosed or why it goes under-recognized is because they're looking for the symptoms that belong to a man. They're looking at the anatomy of a female and they're looking for symptoms that belong to a man. Dosages, right? And side effects also, all based off of the biological structure of a man. Historically, right? Documented evidence shows consistency, right, in the dismissal of women's symptoms. Again, resulting in further delay in diagnoses. Let me list off some conditions real quick, okay? Starting off strong. Endometriosis. Did you know that on average, it takes a woman about 7 to 12 years to be accurately diagnosed? Right? Let's go into the autoimmune diseases like lupus. On average, 7-year delay in getting an accurate diagnosis. ADHD. Most women have to wait until they reach adulthood to finally get diagnosed. Something that can be found in childhood. Adenomyosis. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly, which is heavy menstrual disorder. This is a heavy menstrual disorder. You would go to one of those male, right, gynecologists and they would tell you that it's normal. The bleeding is normal. The pain is normal. Everything is normal. Whole time it's not. And I just have to go back to the whole heart disease thing because as I stated, this is the leading cause of death in women. This fact blew my mind. Did you know that women are 50% more likely to be misdiagnosed after she's already had the heart attack? After she's already had the heart attack. She is less likely. She has already suffered the heart attack. She's already suffered the heart attack. She goes to the doctor. And now she is 50 times more likely to be misdiagnosed. She's already going to be misdiagnosed because of the symptoms that they're looking for belong in a male's body, right? And now that she's already had the heart attack, the chances of her becoming misdiagnosed go up 50%. And you want me to believe that men like women? You want me to believe that men like women in a system designed where we follow your leadership? You guys didn't even do the necessary research conduct the studies to understand how our bodies work. You didn't give a fuck. You didn't give a fuck. For centuries, women have been suffering for things that could have been, you understand, discovered. And it was all because we were following the leadership of males, of men who were in control, who made sure to figure out how their bodies worked, but didn't give a fuck about us. You want me to think that these men love and honor us and respect us? Okay.
But I done tried everything to get in a relationship, like got the talking stage. I'm talking about I done tried being a lover boy. I done tried being a toxic lover boy. I done tried being toxic. I done tried being a trick. I done tried to be the broke boy. I done tried being a don't give a fuck nonchalant boy. I done tried to be the give a fuck boy. I done tried waves. I done tried bald. I done tried afro. I done tried dreads. I done tried two-strand twists. I done tried braids. I done tried having a car. I done tried not having a car. I done tried bitches that weren't my type. I done tried bitches that was my type. I done tried bitches that was above my type. I done tried getting put on. I done tried to put myself on. I done tried being quiet. I done tried, I can't try to be loud. That's just one thing I can't do. But I done tried being a trapper. I done tried being a street nigga. I done tried not being a street nigga. I done tried being a rapper. I done tried being a streamer. I done tried being a content creator. I done tried flexing money. I done tried not flexing money. I done tried everything. I swear to God. Maybe I'm just ugly. That's what it is. I'm just ugly. I'm just going to accept the fact that I'm ugly.
A young guy asked me a question. I'm going to try my best to help him out. Why do no women want me? I'm sweet. I'm kind. I think there's something wrong with me. I'm 20 years old. I've always been rejected. I've always been unwanted. Maybe I'm not masculine enough. Maybe it's the way I look. Maybe it's because I don't have much money. It's probably all those things. Which do you think it is? I have plenty of confidence, just nobody wants me. Maybe I should be tougher. I'm going to be 100% honest with you, okay? You're not really striking me as confident right now. I'm not trying to insult you. There are plenty of people who don't think I'm masculine, who don't think I'm handsome, who don't think that I'm strong or in shape. And? Do you think I'm going to please everybody? I used to live my life that way, and I was the worst version of myself. Mainly because you're trying to hit a target that you'll never hit. If you keep bending to everyone's will of what you think you're supposed to be, then you'll never be who you're meant to be. What are your likes? What are you passionate about? You say you're kind. You say you're nice. How are you kind? How are you nice? How do you treat others around you? How do people feel when they're around you? I'll tell you right now, all the alphas and the guys who seem masculine, with all the women and the cars and the money and stuff, they're lonely, okay? Real success is quiet. If you're constantly telling the world how much you have and how much better you are than everyone, then you're simply not. They're trying to buy things or go into debt to fill a void. They don't know who they are either. And that's why I know for a fact that they're not confident. So what should you do? Take care of yourself and show up for yourself the best way possible. Do it because you deserve to, not because you're expected to. Be there for the people who actually give a fuck about you, the real you, not the persona you put on. Be curious when you meet new people, not judgmental. You don't want to judge people like you judge yourself. People can smell that from a mile away. You are naming these qualities about yourself like they're a checklist that you have to have. Again, people will know that you're trying to do that as opposed to just existing like that. Be genuine when you interact. Don't have an ulterior motive. Show interest. Don't think of what you're going to say while they're talking. And most of all, take ownership and accountability. If you keep getting rejected from multiple women, the underlying reason might be you. And it's not your masculinity or your money or your body. It's the lack of actual self-assured confidence that's keeping you from loving yourself and then keeping other people from seeing who you are. Be your own person and don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks. The right person will match with you, I promise.
I used to be 25, crying myself to sleep because I was a virgin and I never had a girlfriend. Now I'm 30 and have accepted that it's not for everyone. This guy's not so ugly that he can't get a girlfriend. Like, he doesn't look horrible. And the crazy part is that I've seen so many guys like him, especially in college, with girls. But guess what? When I went to his page, every single post was about BP. Isn't that interesting? Every post was talking about how he's not a Chad, he's an LTN, no one's gonna understand. Good girls aren't gonna go for guys like him. And it's like, bro, you are 100% capable of attracting a partner. This is how you guys are gonna end up if you don't take my advice. Okay, that's a little egotistical, but I'm being honest. Like I tell you guys, you have to start building up your game and your skills with women young, because it doesn't get easier as you get older. It's not impossible, but like, it's going to be easier at 20 than it is at 25. It's going to be easier at 25 than it is at 30. It's going to be easier at 30 than it is at 35. Also, I just think it's very funny because in his video, he's like, I finally accepted that it's not for everyone. And then every other video on his page is him not accepting it and complaining about it.
Women are not thinking about men right now. They're not thinking about entering another relationship. They're not thinking about what he's doing or where he's going, because they would rather be single. They don't want to deal with any of that right now. So my question is to you, to the women that are single, of course, what is it that you do, or what are you doing currently now that you're single? Just very curious as to where your life is at now and what are you focusing on, because obviously you're not thinking about a man right now. Clearly.
So because women are online and they're talking, I can tell him exactly why women are not thinking about men. They're online telling you why they're not thinking about men, but of course, as a man, he's not going to listen. They're busy trying to survive men. They're trying to get away from men so they can survive them. They're trying to survive the economy that men created. They're trying to survive being single mothers because a lot of men are leaving them after they get pregnant or have their kids. They are going to school. They are going to therapy because men did shit to them to make them need therapy. They're trying to build closer relationships with their families, their friends. They're trying to build communities with each other in order to find some semblance of safety from men and the economy and the system that men created. That's what women are doing. They can't find jobs right now because the job market is bad because of men. So women are trying to overcome that. Women are moving out of the country because of the system that men created in the United States. Well, globally, really, but some countries are still more affordable right now. So women who are able to work online and to work from different countries are being nomads, they're being expats, and they're getting up out of the United States. Some women are deciding to date men of different races, and they are finding out that that's not working either. But for some it is. So they're going to the other side. Women are doing a plethora of things right now. And because women are doing all of those things, that is why they don't think about men as much as men think about women. Men who aren't doing all of these things have nothing but time on their hands because their only goal is to get a woman to do all of the things that women are doing for themselves and their children. They want women to go 50-50 and pay bills and clean and etc. So women are focused on a completely different task of things than men are right now.
And don't get it twisted. I don't want no man, but I definitely don't want no female either. You know what I'm saying? I'm not horny. Like, I'm just gonna keep it so real. Like, all of that shit is over with. And I say that to say, I be seeing so many people that's just on here so freaky like. Like, what is the big deal between the two private parts? But I know what it is. It's that spirit, that demon that's on you, that lustful demon that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna lie. That last vampire sucked the fucking last of the lustful energy that I had left in me. And I'm grateful. Keep that shit right over there.
Let me be very clear. I absolutely do not like men as a whole. When you think about it, there's not much to like about men. So when y'all get in my comment section saying, oh, you hate men, you're partially right. I don't hate anybody because hate requires too much time, energy, effort, and emotion, but I do not like them. Most men are not good people. They're manipulative, they're liars, they will step on anybody to get what they want. It doesn't matter. And most times, it's at the expense of women in their lives. Too many women are left depleted, left with nothing after dealing with some of these no good men. Men are not likable. Why should you like men when they don't bring anything positive into your life? You could do everything in your life for the better without men. I learned very early on who men are at their core. I was married one time for 75 days and I left. I had one child and I sat down and I didn't have any more children because I learned ain't nothing to like about men. Nothing.
Recent study just came out and it said that most men today are more compatible with other men. No, I am not coming for your sexuality or calling you gay. Based on your education level, your emotional intelligence, your income level, your communication skills, you are more compatible with your bros than you are with the woman that you want. It went on to say that women are dominating in these 4 key areas and it's affecting the entire dating market. My goal is not to bash you, bro. My goal is to just bring you awareness so you know what you up against. First and most obvious one is financial independence. Biologically, historically, bro, women mate across and up. This means that they date men who do better than them in life. The reason is because women, they risk their bodies, their health, risk their independence, their life to have kids and to raise a family. And in order to...
Historically, this is only true because men created a patriarchy and they created money and they hoarded all the resources and took away women's rights in order for women to have to depend on them historically. But when they started giving women rights, they gave women too many rights, and now they cannot control women because women are not as oppressed as we used to be. So that's why you see them now trying to roll back those rights, because they are seeing that women don't need them anymore, but they need women. So they have to take back some of those rights, or they cannot survive without women because they don't want to do it. Women do all of the work in the household and in the marriages and in these families for the holidays and everything else. And they don't want to live without all of those privileges and free labor.
For that, they want to date men that they know can provide for that family. Now, the women are doing better than the men financially. So they're not dating for survival anymore. They're not dating for family and shit anymore. They're dating men who can bring or provide an upgrade to their life because they don't need to bank on men for finance anymore. The second area they're dominating in is education. The average woman reads about 15 books per year. The average man reads less than 7. Now, this is deeper than some fucking books. It is simply an indication that the knowledge and education gap is growing. And now conversations aren't even intriguing. You get on that date, you get on that phone call, you have nothing to talk about. If you can't stimulate a woman's mind, you will never get to her physical. The third area is emotional intelligence. This is probably the biggest one, fellas. And it is so bad that there's this proposal called Red Shirt the Boys. Scientific evidence backs the idea that delaying when boys start school could improve academic and developmental outcomes. Basically, they want to keep all the young boys back a year or two just to keep up with women. Let that sink in. And then the fourth, and this one is obvious, but just health and self-care. Women on average go to the doctor more, typically take care of their skin and their bodies more, and just overall prioritize their health and their well-being more. Now, for the men that got even a little bit of money, a little bit of emotional intelligence, go to the gym and take care of themselves, the dating pool is vast for us. This shit is easy. The competition is super low, fellas. So, hope this video helps. Talk to you soon.
But they don't like to be around each other either. They like to get around each other for like sports and to talk about women. But other than that, they don't want to be around each other for emotional support or for anything else that they would get from a woman. They want women to be their emotional support, to be their sex toys, to be their housekeepers, their maids. They're not going to get that from other men. And a lot of them are scared of other men also. So yeah, they are more compatible with each other, but they don't like each other either.
Nothing really to like about men. Like, when it all boils down, men are not really likable people. So when y'all be in my comments saying you don't like men, no, I don't. And they know I don't like them. I tell them, I voice it. Like, you can actively not like men and still like date them if you want, and tell them, I don't like y'all. I don't like men. Like, they're not nothing really to like. Like, they're no fun. And if you find yourself liking a man, You need to fill in that space. Go back to school or start a business or travel more or fill that in with hobbies. Once you do that, you're going to realize really like, I don't really like this motherfucker. He cool and all, but I don't really like him. I know for me, when I get busy and I fill up my schedule, I don't be liking these men. My grandma ain't like their ass either, but you know, it is what it is.
Women don't want to date us anymore. I'll tell you why. This is from the National Library of Medicine, a study released in 2025. Research indicates that highly educated, high-earning women are increasingly navigating a challenging dating landscape, with some opting out of the traditional relationships because they struggle to find partners who match their intellectual, financial, and emotional standards. This phenomenon is driven by a combination of rising female education, the marriage gap, a shortage of similarly educated men, and a preference for partners with equal or high earning potential. Key findings regarding this trend include a shrinking dating pool, marrying down versus opting out, the 3 E's constraint, eligible, educated, and equal, high standards and independence, impact on mental health, and financial disparity. If you're a man, there's potential that you may not be able to find the partner that you want because they are superseding a majority of the standards you may have by a long shot. When I made the statement, men struggle dating women because they're supposed to be dating men, I really brought a highlight to the simple fact that you would be more compatible with a man, realistically, right? If we're thinking about education, where you financially stand, where you economically stand, when it comes to you being a literate person who's capable of articulating yourself. Not to say that, you would have to be in a same-sex relationship, but compatibility-wise, you would have a higher chance of falling into a much more stable, much more positive relationship with a man than you would with women. I believe this is an additional reason as to why we as men are so incredibly homosocial, because in all actuality, based off the parameters that we live within, the conditioning that we experience, how we sit under the thumb of patriarchy, and how we as men align with an additional denomination and consensus that most doctors agreed upon and most individuals within these studies or who have conducted these studies have agreed upon, is that we collectively are not as educated as other people. It's a lot easier for us to associate with people who are like-minded. This is why group theory is something that continuously happens. This is why men can be spread propaganda and misinformation, or can be fed propaganda and misinformation much more than women can, because in all actuality, we're just not reading. From the outside perspective, if I was a woman who is, interested in dating men, but I was that educated and I was that emotionally articulate, I was able to emotionally articulate myself and was expressive and a literate person who read consistently. On average, women read about 7 to 12 books a year. For the year they released that for, I believe it was 2022 or 2023. I have to fact check. But women are starting to read books more, right? Where it was showing that on average, and most Americans most Americans who are men typically read about 3 to 4 books a year, and that women are reading 40% more than men are. We're starting to recognize that if I was a woman from that perspective, I would obviously understand if I were to be dating that I would have to be dating down, and that in any interaction, if this person does not automatically have the same accolades that I have, education-wise, finance-wise, economy-wise, whatever the case may be, I'm dating down. I'm with somebody who does not match who is not on the same level when it comes to what it is that I've worked towards as I am. So obviously I'm not going to have a good time, because I'm now vetting this person and figuring out, do they match what it is that I'm looking for? Most women are probably surprised when they meet men with degrees who have real careers and are actively seeking, desires, and aren't so focused on sex, and genuinely just have a genuine love for a majority of the things that happen in their life outside of just hating women and voting their rights away. I think life would be a lot easier for men if we would stop listening to presidents, would simply just vote them in and allow their opinions and what it is that they're doing to simply just be on the back burner, and to focus more on becoming literate individuals who are able to emotionally articulate ourselves, who are introspective, and who are willing to look within when it comes to growing as a collective, becoming better men, and simply working on our social interactions and connections so that it is a lot easier for us to potentially be a compatible partner for someone in the future if that is what they want.
The number of women who are not interested in entertaining any man right now is shocking. Y'all have really turned women all the way off. And it's not that women have given up on love, but they have given up on convincing men that they're worthy of it. Like, they don't prefer solitude, but they do prefer their sanity over dead-end situationships. And they aren't rejecting of partnership in general, but they are rejecting projects who try to repackage their performative potential as being a work in progress. And no, it's not that they're difficult. They've just experienced the difficulty of trying to breathe in toxic environments, so they'd rather exhale alone than to suffocate with the wrong man. So contrary to popular belief, a lot of women are open to being loved correctly, but it's either that or they want to be left alone completely. No in between, no second chances. And no, it's not this epidemic of women having unrealistic expectations. It's an epidemic of women finally having realistic assessments of what men have to offer. Of course, good men do exist, but can we finally acknowledge the exhaustion of trying to sift through the men who don't want love, they want help, or an unpaid therapist, or someone to mother them, or an emotional punching bag to project all their insecurities onto, or a man who says that he wants a wife, but he doesn't want to be a husband. And if he does marry that woman, she just becomes another married single mother. Like, I'm just being real, not trying to start a gender war, because the real gender war is when a woman is left to fight for a relationship alone and ends up losing herself trying to keep a man she should have been left. So at some point, we gotta admit that today's women aren't too independent or bitter, they're tired of trying to build a home with a man they gotta protect their energy from, instead of a man who can match their energy, whom they feel at home with.
I made a video earlier today. It's kind of going a little viral. And one thing I've noticed in the comment section, I've noticed this for a while in various videos, is like, yeah, men are the reason why there's a male loneliness epidemic. It's self-inflicted. I mean, the number of women in that comment section who are saying, yeah, no, I'm not dating, and I can't blame any of them. I can't. Men are pieces of shit. We are. And it's just funny, because if men could see my comment section and actually understand why, maybe then they would be changing their behavior. It's as simple as that. Men, you're doing this, we're doing this to ourselves. We treat women so poorly. They're done with us entirely. And I don't want to hear you complain about it.
This is a worldwide thing. A worldwide thing. This is a global movement. Women everywhere is tired. We is tired. And we're not just tired of, you know, our, as one of my favorite TikTokers, Mel Hamlet says, king baby. We're not just tired of our king baby husbands and our king baby partners and our king baby boyfriends and baby daddies. We're also tired of male co-workers. We're tired of our male bosses. We've been tired of our male bosses. We're tired of our male employees. We're tired of our fathers. We're tired of our brothers. We're tired of our grandfathers, especially our grandfathers. Okay? A lot of us have started doing the math on our grandparents' relationships. Wait, you said Big Daddy was 36 when he met Grandma and she was 19? And then they were together for another 56 years and y'all want to tell me that was a happy relationship? Or was it Stockholm Syndrome? Or was a bitch just trapped?
In light of recent events, women, can we just say, are we done as a collective yet? Because I know I am. Between the government and everything we've seen happen there, and then the epidemic of divorces over since COVID, and then now a website that helps you take advantage of your partner and people can watch it? I beg your finest pardon. What the fuck? I mean, like, I literally have no words. And as a woman myself, who's been in abusive relationships and seen some crazies and everything and stuff, not only does that mess you up, and you have to figure out how to live from that, but then going out into a world where you have to be afraid of a man all the time and look over your shoulder, and then you're not even safe in your own damn house no more? I'm sorry, women, are we done? Because I know I am. I have CPTSD from the man I decided to attach myself to. So, and I'm bone tired and exhausted from it. And just the whole world. Thank God I don't have girls. Thank God. I have 3 boys. And just know that I am raising them boys to be not only 8 upstanding citizens, but to respect everyone. They don't see gender. They don't see race. And if I ever find out, and I've told them this, they are 12, 9, and 6. And I've told this, I said, if I ever find out you have inappropriately touched someone, you're going to have to deal with me. And I looked at them and I told them, I said, I don't care how old you are. I said, I will beat your ass. If you're 50 years old and I'm 75, I will beat your ass. You do not put hands on a person at all. Unless they tell you to, okay? And all I have to say is coming from me. And any women want to join me on this mission, because I'm about to either create a community for just women and no men are allowed, or I'm about to go buy an island and you can come join me and there won't be no men. We'll be safe, ain't nobody disturbing your peace, fucking shit up. And I'm aware women are crazy too. I'm aware of this. But do us women have a website where it's how to take advantage of your partner so people can watch? I mean, obviously, clearly I'm outraged about this. I don't know why. I don't know if it's perimenopause. I don't know. Come along with me on my rant, my soapbox moment, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But all I have to say is to men, if I ever see one of you out and you are either disrespecting a woman, anybody for that matter, or hurting a woman or anything, because I've encountered men in bars that, kind of get a little asshole-ish, if you will, when they've been drinking, you're kind of a douche canoe and everything. If I encounter you out and you are on your bullshit, I will not hesitate to make an example of you. I will not hesitate to do it. I promise you that, because I am tired of that. And if there was more women like me who are ready to go and make an example out of you men who think this is okay, DM me. Let's go. You want to come at me in the comments, call me a bitch, whatever you want to call me. I don't care, but this should not be happening. And my other question is, and this is the real burning question that hurts my mama heart, how many of these men that are doing it to these women have children? Do you have a daughter in the next room while you're doing this to her mother? For real. Are these men, if I was a lawyer, I would 110% contact the women that have been affected by this, and I would for free, I'm sorry, I'm so upset, I've lost my words. I have no words right now, but I would literally represent you for free to take your spouses out, whoever this has been affected by. I would literally represent you for free. And if any of these women that see this post and you have been affected by this and you need someone to talk to, feel free to message me, because everybody needs somebody to talk to. And I just cannot imagine the amount of mental bullshit that you are going to have to betrayal and I can't fathom it. I know the bullshit I've been through and what it's done to me and my mental health. And I just can't imagine this. So again, if I see any of you men out, or if I ever hear about a man doing something to a woman, hurting, disrespecting, whatever, I will make an example out of you. So, and I'm sure I can find a few other women who will come with me and help me. So, because a lot of us abuse survivors, we like to stick together. So we do. So, here we are. Such a lovely day and age to be alive. I didn't sign up for this circus. I didn't want to go to this circus. Can we unplug something, plug it back in? I mean, for real, like what in the fuck? Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Oh my God. Happy Friday. This must be my Friday shirt. I wore it last Friday and got dirty looks. Nobody gave me dirty looks today. People just smile at me. Anyway, okay, bye.
From the time we're born, we are just lied to about love, this so-called happily ever after. Prince Charming, the one. We are completely conditioned and brainwashed. And by the time we figure it out, there's so much damage done to us and our children. It's the world's greatest deception. Like, think about that. Everyone came together and convinced girls to marry men who hate them, who want to abuse them, who want to unalive them. Poor guys, their poor mental health, being lonely, because girls and women see them for who they are and know that it is literally the most dangerous thing for our lives to be with them. Yeah, sign us up. I will never be with another man. I'm good. Single, with my friends who actually do like me. And actually, I have the most fun with. This Valentine's Day, I went out with a girlfriend. We went to dinner and we went to a movie, and it was the best date I've ever had. Sorry you're lonely. We're not. The greatest deception. Happily ever after with a man.
Breaking news, you guys. The United States infertility rate is at an all-time low. It's even surpassed France. Remember when I told you Europe was having trouble with conceiving children? They haven't had children in a few months. Well, United States surpassed them, y'all. They're even talking about in a few years, deaths are projected to surpass births. Check.
We don't care. We don't care. Honestly, we're done. Women, all the way 20s, 30s, 40s, doesn't matter. Women, we're freaking done. Especially black women, we are really done. Instead of a social safety net in this country, we have women. Our economic system depends on women's unpaid labor in order to function, instead of coming up with some sort of policy solution to fill those gaps. We expect women to do it. And now that women are refusing to do it in larger and larger numbers, we have a problem suddenly. So it was okay for you to exploit our labor and let us have unequal treatment, have us work outside the home and inside the home, not insist that men do their fair share of domestic labor, pregnancy discrimination. I would say, I don't know what it's called, but it's like, I think maternal profiling is what they call it, which is why in every job interview, I find some way to work in the fact that I don't have children and I don't plan to have them. I don't say it just like that, but I work it in at some point, and I do it early in the job to avoid maternal profiling. It's not good. This is not the way humans were meant to live. I am miserable, I am sick, I am tired, I am stressed, and I don't care. I do not care about the fate of the human race. I don't really care about the fate of this country either. Because I believe in justice before order. And it seems like a lot of people in the world are more interested in order than they are interested in justice. They're more interested in money than they are in the safety of women and children. They're more interested in power than in peace. And they will exploit whoever they need to get what they want. Women, children. You know, they're relaxing child labor laws in some states, and they're trying to get the marriage consent age lower. Not for boys, but for girls. And they're voting against legislation that Democrats are putting forth in different states to raise the legal age for consent to marriage to 18. No, they want to keep it at 16, 15. And if you're below 18, if your parents okay it, you can get married at 14 or 15 in some states. So what do you got? Child labor, forced birth, no raise in the minimum wage, no environmental safeguards, no national health insurance, no subsidized childcare, not to mention G-side. Justice requires that the people who caused the problem are the people that should fix it. The US government, various state governments, you caused this problem. Policies that you implemented against the majority of the people's will. Most people are in favor of all these things I mentioned if you poll nationally. Now, if you poll individual state by state, and if you put the word Obama in front of any of the policy ideas, it might be a little different. But yeah, you did this. You broke it. Actually, you broke it a long time ago. And you had some good ideas in the 30s to fix it. But the problem with the ideas you had is that those policy solutions didn't include everybody. For a solution to solve a societal problem, it's not going to work if that solution is not available to everybody. And then you saw dollar signs in the 80s because, your masculinity was dinged a little bit when you lost a war for the first time. Really the second time. We didn't win the War of 1812 either, quiet as it's kept. And then your ego was bruised, and then we went into the 80s where it was consumption, excess. And then you've just broken the world just a little bit more every single year after that. And now it is crumbling before your very eyes, and you're looking to yourself like, what happened? It's like the American people are asking for a divorce, and the government is like, this just came out of the blue. And we're like, dude, we've been telling you. We've been marching in the streets. We've been writing letters. We've been campaigning. We've been writing books. We've been going on podcasts. We've been making TikToks about all these problems we have and all the solutions, ideas we have to solve them. And you haven't listened. So we're done. And the government is like begging us, oh, please don't, that's so drastic. Not having kids, that's so drastic. Whatever things we're doing, it's so drastic. No, we've tried the respectful, simple way. We've tried talking. We've talked ourselves to death. You're not listening. Just like those clueless husbands in those divorce situations. You're not listening. So we're done.
Women are literally driving the human race towards extinction at the moment in the biggest case of fuck around and find out the world has ever seen by refusing to have kids because they don't like the way men treat women and they don't like the way that society treats mothers. And so they're like, you know what, instead of having kids and continuing the human race, let's just go extinct. Let's just all go extinct. And this isn't only happening in South Korea. I don't know if you saw that report a few weeks ago that said that for the 4th year in a row, the birth rate there was dangerously low compared to the death rate. And if that continues, you end up with loads of old people and not enough young people to support them and support the economy. And then you have fewer women in each generation and fewer of them are having kids, and then eventually you go extinct. And when they're asking women in South Korea, why are you doing this? In part they're saying they don't like men. They don't like the way that men treat them. And they're like, why would I have a kid with this idiot? Why would I breed from this idiot? Why would I pass this idiot's DNA on? I don't care if you say that we're going to go extinct. I don't care if my uterus is all that stands between us and extinction. I'm not doing it. It's not worth it for me. So I'm not going to do it. And this is happening everywhere. They reckon that by the year 2050, 75% of nations will be in the same situation. And by 2100, the year 2100, it'll be 97% of nations. Because women are refusing to have kids because we're sick of this crap. In my country at the moment, in Britain, the average birth rate is 1.5 children per woman. And it needs to be 2.1. And it's set to plummet to 1.3. And the same thing is going to happen in the US. Because women just don't want to have any kids. And I can see why. It's because forever we have been told that all we're good for is having children, but also that that's not really that important because it still doesn't make us the default gender. It still doesn't make us the important gender. It's men who get to earn all the money and have all the fun. They're the ones who get to keep all of their leisure time. They're the ones who get to own most of the world's land and speak most of the world's words, because we're just women and mothers, and that's not that important. And so why would we do it? Like, why would we do it? What's the incentive here? Because women actually know that having children takes a massive toll on our physical health and our mental health, and that we're then expected to live our lives in servitude to these children, to these future worker bees, so that they can take care of the aging population. And our entire lives will be changed by having a child. But we're also constantly told that that's not that important, but that's all we are, but that's not important. And so we're looking at the situation and we're like, why would I do this? I'd rather put a backpack on and go traveling. I don't care if we go extinct. Like why would I do this? Where's the incentive? There isn't one. We're not even appreciated for doing it. Like, we're actually like brought down for doing it. Why would we do it? Why not instead just go out there and explore this world and live our lives? And that's what more and more women are doing. They're making the decision to do that instead. So here's the thing. If you don't want to go extinct, you better beg us to start having kids, and you better make it worth our while. Like, that's the only solution here. That's the only way that we get out of this mess. Women need to be recognised for their importance, not just in terms of having children, but everything glorious that they bring to this world. Because we've been told for all this time that, like, it's not us, it's not you, you're not the important ones. Like, you guys aren't the key workers here. And now actually we're seeing that we are the key workers, and actually we are vitally important for the continuation of the human race. And before anybody jumps up in here and is like, well, then you guys are selfish. Why don't you just take one for the team and sacrifice your physical and mental health to have children? Like, what, they just do that. The human race depends on it. This isn't our fault. It's yours. It's society's fault, and society has been run by men for all these years, and you have left us feeling underappreciated and unvalued for everything that we have to offer, including having children and raising them and raising the next generation. And we just don't want to do it anymore. And we're not gonna. Fuck around and find out.
She stops reproducing because her most important work is just beginning. Out of 5,000 species of mammals, only 5 evolved to have menopause. Humans, killer whales, pilot whales, belugas, and narwhals. Evolution eliminates anything that doesn't serve survival. It is ruthless about it, in fact. So then we have to ask the question, why would nature keep a female alive for 30 to 40 years after she stops reproducing? Well, scientists call it the grandmother hypothesis. The answer isn't leftover time. Her value shifted from reproduction to something evolution decided mattered more. Protecting the group, carrying the memory, guiding what survives. The most socially complex species on the planet, elephants, killer whales, humans, all figured out the same thing independently. Put the wisest female in front, because their value now is wisdom. She doesn't stop reproducing because she's done.
Why so many women are burnt out and dysregulated from dating men is because we're all collectively raised to believe that men are the natural born leaders and providers, and yet behind the scenes it's the women providing everything, and the men who claim themselves to be leaders are leading us to the pits of hell. Men think they're the head of the household, and yet they can't even tell you when their son's birthday is or who their daughter's teacher is. They act like they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders, and yet the second a woman walks into the room, all that weight goes onto her shoulders. So her life experience goes from just having to support herself, or if she's lucky, have the support of her friends and family to help her up or collectively help each other out. But then the second she enters a relationship with a man, she's then expected to carry herself plus at least 50% of what he carries. And then on top of that, she's gaslit into having to say that he's the provider. I think men should be providers. I don't think they're natural born leaders, because bad things happen, obviously, when men think they're superior to women. And we all know that men act like they're superior because they're coping with the fact that they feel deeply inferior to women. So when people say to me, well, it's unfair to expect more than 50% in this economy and women are just gold diggers for wanting more than that, they want to be spoiled and live the easy life, I call absolute bullshit. What you call spoiled is just a woman feeling supported in her relationship as the bare freaking minimum. So when men say they want a submissive woman who goes 50-50, I think, are you not embarrassed? Are you not? Do you not look in the mirror and just feel deeply ashamed and embarrassed? And the sad thing is, I've seen this in real life where both the man and the woman work full time, yet she is the one that's expected to buy all of the groceries, bring all the groceries home, cook for the entire family, clean the entire house. She's the one that pays the bills and manages the finances, and yet all he has to do is work full time, come home, have dinner put on the table, bitch and moan about how hard the day was, and that's it. And then the sons raised in that family with that paradigm will go out and date, go to their girlfriends, bring their girlfriends home to show them the family and say, look, aren't you excited for this to be you one day? I decided long ago that that life was not for me. I will not fall for the modern brainwashing that is one of two pipelines, the 50-50 or the alt-right trad wife pipeline, because both will have you exploited and used. I just go by the basic rule that if that man is not making your life easier and more fun, he's not the man for you.
Cannot fathom a reality where they are not the priority. And they see all these women expressing the fact that their lives are better single. Best thing that they could say is, that's why you don't got a man. Bro, that's the whole point. Why would a woman want to be with a half-ass man? Not even, a lot of these guys ain't even a quarter of a man. And even the quote-unquote good men still come with so much that a lot of women are opting out. Ladies, it is okay to opt out of wanting to be in a relationship. And if anything, you should be with a man the same way they want to be with women. For pleasure, for funsies, just because. But not seriously, not for a lifelong commitment. Men are realizing that women don't really need them the way they used to. I was talking to this guy and we were having, this type of conversation. And he's like, back then women, like families would stay together or marriages would last a lot longer. He's like, it's just not like that anymore. It's because of the phones. I'm like, it's absolutely not because of the phones. It's because women have way more independence now. They had no choice but to stay in a marriage where men were having multiple families, cheating on them and abusing them. Now women have choices. Women are making just as much, if not more than men nowadays. Women are realizing that their hormones and their nervous systems are regulated when a man is not present. Men are conditioned, brainwashed to believe that they are the center of the universe. The world, the patriarchy, even religions make it seem like they're the end all be all. But women are waking up. We're realizing that our power was suppressed, was taken from us. And we're standing up for ourselves. We're saying no more. Ladies, stay single, stay happy.
Y'all know something I find hilarious within all of this? Women are opting out and leaving men alone in droves, but you see droves of men online saying that men are opting out and why men don't want to be with women anymore. And it's like when you get fired and then you go back at your boss and you're like, well, I quit anyway. Like, that's literally what they're doing. Like, women have fired them and laid them off and furloughed them, and they're all yelling, we quit anyway. Like,
most men are fed up with women nowadays. And what I mean by that is, in the last several months, all my friends that are players, that are with a girl every day, stopped being with women. They literally stopped. They said enough. And I think the reason they did that is because there's this crazy thing happening now where women are going nuts about being an Instagram model and getting external validation. And I think what's interesting about it is that men subconsciously hit a threshold where they're like, no more. And to protest, they're not with women. As a matter of fact, statistically, it's pretty bad. 25% of men up until the age of 30 not only aren't virgins, have never even asked a girl out in their life. They just stay at home with their mom in their fucking basement playing video games. That's a problem. And I think that, if you look at society as a whole, where it's going, it's not going in a good direction. But I do think that men protesting the ridiculous behavior from the female side is a new trend, and it might reverse what's been happening. So if you're a guy and you've been kind of, chilling out, been a bit more abstinent, like all the homies, comment below. I'm not talking about a guy who's had a girlfriend for the last 6-7 years, who's been married for 3 decades. I'm talking about a guy who's single. Have you noticed that it's gotten weird, like really weird, and you just kind of lost interest in talking to women recently? If that's you, comment below. I'm honestly curious. How many of you are experiencing the same thing? Because I'm noticing my entire social circles like that.
Oh no, the men who call themselves alpha males on podcasts are refusing to date women now? Ladies, somebody sound the alarms immediately. This is devastating. This is catastrophic. What are we gonna do? Oh my God. I love how he says it like women are supposed to panic. Like, sir, women have literally been begging certain men to leave us alone for years. Honestly, if some of you guys could also stop harassing us, stalking us, assaulting us, murdering us, that would be amazing. That would be a huge win for everybody involved. But what absolutely kills me here is this guy trying to frame it like men staying at home in their mom's basement playing video games is some kind of like heroic protest against women. Like, no, babe, that's not a revolution. That's just social anxiety with RGB lighting. And then he somehow blames women because women post selfies online and get attention. Meanwhile, these same men refuse therapy, refuse emotional intelligence, refuse accountability, and then sit on the internet talking about how society collapsed because women learned what boundaries are. Like, be so freaking serious, bro. Okay? The funniest part is that this guy's username is actually The Dating Guy. Well, he's announcing that him and all his friends have given up on women because women aren't behaving the way that they want them to behave anymore. Like, congratulations, bro. You just accidentally discovered that women are human beings and not NPCs programmed to reward you for existing. And let's be honest, because this is the part that, men like this never want to admit. Women are actually very excited to sleep with men who actually make them feel safe and respected and valued and comfortable. If women are avoiding you, that's probably not because feminism is destroying society. It's just probably because you're unpleasant to be around. So when men online dramatically announce, "We're done with women," I genuinely think that most women hear that and they go, okay, promise?
Walking down the street the other day and I saw like two of the most gorgeous women I've seen in my life. And that's funny because that seems to happen every few days. The truth is, women are absolutely beautiful and gorgeous, particularly at a time like now. And that's why men are off the chain in regards to women and so set on humbling them. Today's women are not drained and dragged down by the patriarchy like their predecessors were. For the first time in history, we're really getting to see how women age when they're allowed to age on their own accord. When they're not bogged down with children by the time they're 20, when they're not forced to stay in a marriage with a man because there's no form of security outside of it, when they're not married off as children brides and instead allowed to further their education and enter the workforce, women will grow into beautiful individuals in being, not only in a physical way, but also in the lives they develop, in the relationships they have, and in the bonds they further. Every day, women are changing the world. And this is why I say the future is female. Women are lapping men in a race they've only been allowed to run in recent decades. And even still, all over the world, women are held back from simple things like dancing, expression, the freedom of dress, and access to education. The world is immensely aware of the power that women hold. And that is why the world is so focused on subjugating and oppressing women. These upticks in violence against women and the femicide all reflect the fact that the power of women is widely known. So much to the point that the only way people feel as though they can take power from women is by removing them from Earth. Not only are women beautiful and successful, they tend to be more intelligent and have a good head on their shoulders, despite what subpar men would have them believe. Today, women have their own jobs, their own means of transportation, their own houses, and most importantly, their own mind. As women become more independent from men, they're bound to get more and more beautiful. The truth is, a man drains you. Research shows when a man is in your life, he shortens it. That shows that when they're around you, they age you prematurely. It is harder to age gracefully with a man because he's trying to disgrace you at every turn to affirm his own masculinity. When women are around each other or away from men, they build themselves and others up. They get degrees, they care for their family, they make and spend money more efficiently than their male counterparts, and they can still do all these things while caring for a child that a man has left behind. I am so excited for the future, particularly for the future of women. I think the world is changing at a time where that is absolutely necessary. We are reaching extremes that need new leaders to face them. The changing of hands of leadership to women over the next few decades will be imperative for the continuation of the human race and our planet as a whole. We've seen where the leadership of men has gotten us, and we are all in need of a great change in 180 in the way we've been progressing.
I don't think a lot of y'all understand how distressing it is when a black woman stops caring. When she cuts you off, it can be devastating and distressing. I've watched it happen in my own life a few times. By the time a black woman shuts off her heart and blocks you, she has likely offered you a solution a compromise, something in order for us to live in harmony on a silver platter, and you just flip the platter and just walk away. And it's like, okay, I'll eat that. Goodbye. People think we're playing when we're done because we often stay a little longer than we really needed to. I do it all the time. But when I'm done, I'm done. And looking at this from a generational lens, I'm a millennial. I'm an elder millennial. We watched our mothers and our grandmothers and great-grandmothers and so on and aunties remain with men of any demographic, no count men, who didn't bring them any joy and led them through decades of a nightmare and just wouldn't go. And I won't just say wouldn't, couldn't. There were certain constraints. There were just things going on where they didn't have that bodily autonomy or personal agency, and we're not judging that. But we took a look at the generations before us, appreciated them for their strength and their resilience, but also took a look at the things that we could change for ourselves and for our future. We went to therapy, right? We healed codependency. We learned about personal agency. We got our educations. We figured out how to navigate this life and started to understand that we could decide who to allow in our energy, that we could create family and community for ourselves, and it's not always blood. We've learned how to go no contact with narcissistic people. We've learned how to create boundaries for ourselves and to protect our energy. So when you look at this election, Black women handed you a fabulous solution on a platter. There was going to be something for everybody. Again, Kamala, with the life that she's lived and what she's accomplished, she didn't have to do all of this. But she answered the call and she did a fabulous job at it. And here we are again, offering you things that benefit everybody. And y'all turn that down. And now you get to feel what it's like when a Black woman is done. Because we as a community, as a whole, are fed up. It's distressing to people when Black women go no contact, when they shut down. I've had it happen to quite a few people in my life. When I finally block, there's a panic because you don't feel that light anymore. You don't feel that energy, that love, that care. And it's about to happen en masse. And y'all are going to have to figure it out. We're going to be about healing ourselves, about calming all this inflammation that causes all this heart disease that plagues our demographic because we've been carrying the weight of this country on our backs. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to go get healthy. We're going to go be fabulous. We're going to take care of one another. We're going to educate each other and uplift each other. It's time for us to focus on ourselves. And y'all can figure out the rest because obviously the solution that we had and that we offered wasn't good enough. So let's see what everybody else comes up.
A lot of women are experiencing long periods of time of zero attraction to men.
No, and I feel so seen right now. We have to talk about it because so many women are coming forward and confessing like, hey, for some reason, I don't know why, I have not been actually like genuinely attracted to a man in so long. And Lord, have we been trying. But it almost feels like we grew out of it or something. And what is going on? And I have to agree. I honestly thought that I was fully done with men and had moved on past that until I recently ran into a man at an event. You may or may not know. That was for the first time live on film. You saw me feel something again and I was freaked out about it. Honestly, I think it was just an energy I didn't even know still existed in men out there somewhere, and I've been desperately clinging to that as a shred of hope for society ever since. But even recently, like a guy that I was in love with or had a crush on, whatever you want to call it, for years reached back out to me and started flirting with me. And watching it happen gave me the ick, which was crazy because if that man had reached out to me and said and done the exact same thing back when I was like 22, it's what I always dreamed of. But now in 2026, I was just like, it's kind of cringe. It's a little bit embarrassing at our grown age. And your jokes, I don't know, they're just not landing. Some of them are rubbing me a little bit the wrong way. And I'm not willing to let enough of this slide anymore to think this is cute. And I do think it's a combination of two things. I think one, men are getting worse. The manosphere is becoming bigger. And two, I'm building the women's sphere. We're all becoming more aware of this behavior and we're letting less of it slide as it gets worse. In girl math terms, it's like fixing your student loan debt by going out and buying a new car. You're actually just snowballing the whole thing and it's starting to get noticeably insane.
Some men's DNA should die out. Some men do not deserve the continued bloodline or the legacy. Stop risking your life to create a duplicate of that man. Especially if you know that man does not deserve the beautiful baby that you will give birth to or the sacrifice of your body to make that child. I've always felt this way, but I feel super compelled now to say this more than ever before, okay? Because we are in 2026 in this version of America. This is not the time for these games.
Women don't need men anymore. Burn. So they don't choose the way they used to. They don't care about your money anymore. They generally make more than you anyway. Burn. They don't really care about your status. Often high status just means you're a bit of a prick. Burn. They don't even really care about your looks. Many women prefer dad bods to abs. Burn. It's now about, do you feel safe to be around? Not boring safe, not passive safe, but regulated, grounded, and solid. Because if she has her own life, her own money, and her own independence, the only reason she stays is how you make her feel.
It seems as if women want to perfect the social environment instead of existing within it. And what I mean by that is, like, imagine a hunter goes into the woods and instead of accepting the fact that there's bears and mosquitoes and old trees that might fall and dangers, instead of him accepting that, he starts complaining.
When we see threatening animals, we also take their lives. So should we take the lives of threatening men? If men are threatening women and or being predatory, should we then take their life? Because in your analogy, that's what we should do. As a father of 2 young girls, I hope my children never run into men like this. And this is a prime example of what it looks like when men don't hold other men accountable. Because what do you mean women should just deal with it? Deal with what, predators? And nobody's being obtuse because, yeah, dangerous people will always be a part of society, but people who seek to hurt women are sick individuals. What if you have a daughter and then instead of getting rid of predators, you say, hey, you know what, your daughter should just deal with it? That's weird. No, women should not deal with predatory behavior. This is the same thing with women not even being able to wear gym clothes without men stripping them down with their eyeballs. Understand, nobody should have to deal with predatory behavior.
I just saw this video where this guy was saying there's a female loneliness epidemic, and I just thought that was the funniest thing. He says that women are lonely because they prioritize their happiness. And of course, he's talking about them choosing their careers, their education, instead of wanting to settle down and start a family, all that jazz. I've said this before, but I'll say it again because I think it's true. A lot of you guys are jealous of women, okay? You're mad at women because instead of choosing to be with y'all, they're choosing peace, right? They're choosing their careers and their education first. Y'all are only mad because they're better off without you, okay? And you can't blame them. I mean, a lot of y'all have nothing to offer to these women. Y'all don't bring peace to women's lives. You bring chaos. You offer them nothing but a migraine. And you wonder why they choose to be single. You wonder why they prioritize their happiness instead of dating y'all. So how about this? Instead of living in mommy's basement complaining about women, just do better. Ow!
Get to the end of this video, then you already know this is a conversation people need to be having. So don't leave quietly, like this video, comment your thoughts below, Share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Every interaction pushes this conversation further into the algorithm and helps this channel grow.